I will talk about why we think that the current practice of not using condoms in porn poses a direct threat to society, and hence the government has an obligation to change this practice. But first I would like to start with some rebuttals. The opposition says or talks about the freedom of occupation. At the same time, employers have the obligation to keep their employees safe. They have to prevent occupational hazard as far as possible. We know that here in Weizmann, for example, we have to wear a lab coat, even if we maybe don't want to or we don't think that we need it. It is the employer's obligation by law and also the employer's interest to keep their employees safe. The other main point from opposition is that people anyway know about STDs and we don't need porn to educate them. This is simply not true. The spread of STDs currently is based on a big part because people do not know, do not realize the real threat that STDs are posing. And organizations like the UNICEF or the UN are spending millions of dollars to try to directly educate people and at the same time leave the huge potential of porn that they could have for free unused for educational purposes. So I would like to get to my point why we think that the current practice is a direct harm for society and why the government has the obligation to keep people from this harm. As opening government mentioned, porn can have an educational potential. Right now, it has an educational potential, but it's destructive. It teaches people not to use condoms. This has worldwide a mortal effect because people copy the behavior that they see in porn, that they see on TV. It's the same as trying to dress like your favorite actor or behave like your favorite actress. People, as opening government mentioned, learn sex from porn. Now they learn that using a condom is not natural. They learn that it's normal not to be safe. And the government has to prevent the spread of this practice and has to keep the people safe from learning this behavior.
On that.
Later. At the same time, the current potential that porn basically gives people for free, for governments for free, to use as a mass educational tool is being completely unused. There's a huge amount of money spent on teachers to go and give one class in a school or to try to educate people in Africa to be safe and what STDs means and how it ruins your life. And then people go home and watch porn and see the opposite. If governments would use the potential that porn gives them, it would mean basically a free tool to start sex education at a very young age in both genders worldwide with no cost. And this potential has to be used. I would also like to talk about what people who knows about safe sex think when they watch porn and see that people are not using condoms. Obviously, you couldn't think that porn actors would get pregnant, so you probably think that they use other means of contraception. Now, all other means of contraception are completely useless against STDs. There's no way to prevent STDs with any other contraception, and these diseases ruin the life of people. They can't work anymore, they can't have relationships, they are a huge burden of the healthcare system. Also, porn in general is basically very sexist, but not just because of how they use women, but also because they teach that contraception has to be the responsibility of the woman only. We believe that contraception has to be a shared responsibility And hence, yes.
You're giving people way too much credit if you think you're thinking about the motives of the actors while they're watching porn.
I don't think that people are directly or literally thinking about contraception by watching porn. I do not believe that. But I think that what they see in porn has an effect on how they think. I think that when they watch porn, when they learn from porn, they will think that this is the natural way to do it. This is how the professionals do it, and that is how I want to do it. And we want to avoid that. So to continue with my point, besides that all other contraception methods don't protect against STDs and advertise that contraception has to be the responsibility of men only, the other huge problem is that they are all have a huge physiological effect on the woman's health and body and physiology. Contraceptive pills, for example, would prevent from being pregnant, and that is what most porn stars or porn actresses are using. It messes up the hormone system of the woman. It is a huge physiological change in the woman's body, and it has unwanted side effects and a real health threat for the woman. So to sum up, we believe that porn poses a direct threat for society, and hence the government is obligated to keep the people safe from this threat and force people in porn to wear condoms. Thank you.